out now because he says that he was intimidated before, intimidated enough, quote, to shut up. This is fascinating here because I can only imagine if he was in support of woke culture that they would have embraced him. He wouldn't have had concern to speak up. But if you have a dissenting view, then you have reason for concern. About the youth, which I'm sure, being the CEO of Whole Foods, you probably have a lot of young people that work for you. He says this: the younger generation don't seem to want to work. They only want to work if it's really purposeful and something that they feel aligned to. You can't hope to start with meaningful work. You're going to have to earn it over time. Some of the younger generation doesn't seem to be willing to pay that price. And I don't know why. He says, okay, so I get that people want to work for a cause. That is admirable. But he has a great point. When you're starting out, you got to pay the bills.
You got to pay your dues. You got to pay the bills. Millennials are the worst generation. They are the generation of participation trophies, being coddled in safe spaces. They think they're very, very, very important, more important than adults and people who have been established in certain industries. And that's why I think the pendulum is swinging the other way with the younger generations. My son, I swear, if it's going to be opposed to the millennials, he's going to be CEO because he already knows you will have a job. You will work very hard. You're not going to start out as the CEO. You may start out in the mailroom or as a janitor. You have to put in the time to get the jobs and succeed. And I think these millennials, because of their sense of self-importance, are influencing these CEOs, and it should be the other way around. Learn from the older generation. See what they did to get ahead. You are not entitled. You are not special when you get out of college. I worked overnight shifts at 3 a.m, busted my backside in law school, working the long hours, and you know what? It paid off eventually. But these younger kids have to learn those lessons the hard way, and that's through hard work.
Good advice. Here's with you guys. This was a fascinating story that just came out. Former New York Times opinion editor Bari Weiss, we all remember her. She was recently interviewing Senator Tim Scott on his book in her podcast, where she brought up that senior editors at the New York Times, when she was there, wanted to check with Senator Chuck Schumer on an opinion piece that Senator Scott had actually submitted back in 2020 dealing with police reform. The paper is denying this is ever true, saying, oh, that never happened. But fascinating enough, Scott's op-ed was actually never run. If this is happening, Tim, this is a huge problem. This is an opinion piece. They shouldn't have to check with the opposing party to see if they like it or not.
Yeah, this is in the category of shocking but not shocking. And that is, you would think that they wouldn't make their editorial judgments based on, well, we need to consult with Senator Schumer before we publish Senator Scott.
They would check with anybody else to make sure that their feelings aren't going to get hurt if it was a conservative who was being bashed or a bad opinion about them.
Absolutely not. There's a complete double standard when it comes to these liberal media outlets. They will slander and harm conservatives left and right, but then when there's a liberal, they sort of run cover and make excuses. Journalism is basically dead in this country. We need objective, neutral, third-party journalists so we don't have state TV, state newspapers that are just running cover for the Biden administration. And this is really scary. This isn't what America is based upon. These people that want to be objective journalists no longer have the ability because they have to camp out at places like the New York Times, or as Donald Trump called them, the failing New York Times. And that's why readership is what it is. It's only read by liberals. Any conservative knows it's not worth the paper that it's printed on. And I do think that we should move back to a little more objective journalism because people don't know what is opinion and what is fact anymore. And it's really troubling for the average American.
That's a good point. Joe, I'll give you the final 30 seconds here.
Everybody should understand who's watching and listening. They're all on the same team. The media is no longer the media that calls the government out when it does the wrong thing. That was the whole idea. The freedom of the press was not so they could be on the same team. They were supposed to be the opposing team, questioning everything, being skeptical of everything the government was doing. They're on the same team. Of course, they checked with Chuck Schumer, and Chuck Schumer said, don't run it. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Tim, Erin, Joe, stick around. It's Friday. That means it's time to kick back, have a little fun. Here is we're going to play the company quiz, and here's Graham, Erin Elmore, and Joe Pags. Welcome back. I think that all of you are on equal footing here because I don't think we have last week's winner with us. Is that right?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no. I think you would know if you'd won, I hope.
I didn't win.
All right, so let's All right, let's get going here with question one. President Biden and his family are currently on vacation in South Carolina, where, according to reports, they are staying at a friend's $20 million beachfront mansion on Kiowa Island. Must be nice. Biden, who has already visited Delaware nearly 50 times during his first year and a half in office, is expected to stay in South Carolina for a week. And late summer vacations are actually pretty common for presidents. But which of these former presidents took the least amount of vacation during his presidency? Was it A, Woodrow Wilson, B, Jimmy Carter, C, Bill Clinton, or D, George W. Bush? Who took the least amount? Get those letters up. Okay, we have 2 B's and an A. Erin, is that an A?
Yeah,
and
sorry,
the gentleman. All right, the gentleman on the board early, it was Jimmy Carter. Do you guys know how many days of vacation he took just by chance? I think you're not alone.
It's all about
He actually is.
the hostages. He couldn't take vacation.
Two are Tim Joe tied at 1. All right, Erin. The Biden administration is desperately trying to paint a positive picture after the consumer price index came out on Wednesday, lower than they had hoped at 8.5% in July, while inflation is cooling a bit. Food prices are at a record high, with breakfast foods being up the most. The price of eggs is up 47% from last July, and Americans love their eggs, as do I. But according to YouGov, how do most Americans take their eggs? Is it A, omelet, B, over easy, C, scrambled, or D, egg salad? Yuck. If it is egg salad, I'm going to be so disappointed in America. 3 C's, and we have 3 right answers. Yes, it was scrambled. 36% of Americans say they like their eggs scrambled. Senator Roger Marshall, he appeared on our show to react to the passage of the Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act. Marshall said the bill reminds him of the movie Dumb and Dumber. And he wasn't the only Republican senator to question the Democrats' bill. Louisiana John Kennedy said in his own kind of special way, he said it's a special kind of stupid to raise taxes during a recession and inflation. Well, speaking of dumb laws in Louisiana, which of the following is illegal in the state? A, snoring with windows open. B, riding a bike with no hands. C, biting someone with dentures. Or D, all of the above.
Oh, come on.
Which is illegal in Louisiana? All right, so we have 2 D's and a B. Erin, love the money. It is D. It is all the above, if you can believe it or not. To former RNC chairman Reince Priebus about his home state of Wisconsin, specifically Milwaukee, which is named the host city for the 2024 Republican National Convention. Which of the following popular 70s sitcom shows is set in Milwaukee? Is it A, All in the Family, B, Happy Days, C, Good Times, or D, WKRP in Cincinnati? Which show?
If anybody picks D, I'm going to have a problem. It says Cincinnati in the answer.
All right, we have 2 B's and an A. And the gentleman, once again, it is Happy Days.
Well, we're older than Erin. That wasn't fair for her.
Yeah,
we watched Happy Days.
This is like me every week. If you makes you feel better, Erin, I played the quiz last week and I didn't get one right, so you're doing way better than me. It was Happy Days.
It depends on the question.
Exactly. And, in an attempt to rebrand President Biden as White House staffers have been tweeting memes calling Biden Dark Brandon. The social media posts are in response, obviously, to the right's calling him Let's Go Brandon memes and include images that depict Biden as Batman. Staffers are actually touting the Democrat climate legislation as a win for Biden. And speaking of Batman and climate, which of these Batman villains is an eco-terrorist? Is it A, the Penguin, 2, B, Two-Face, C, Mr. Freeze, or D, Poison Ivy? I hope you might get this, Erin. You have a son?
Yeah.
Watch Batman? Okay, is that a C? What is that letter?
Yeah.
A C.
C.
My cursive's fallen behind. Wait,
C.
that's a D?
C is in cat.
C is in cat, Charlie. Okay, the 2 D's and A are right. And it is Tim Graham with the right answer. It is Poison Ivy. All right, Tim, did you know that? First time?
Yes.
Congratulations. All right. Well, thank you all for playing. It was great to have you all with us this weekend and hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Have a good weekend.
All right.